The title of the story is Simeli Mountain. This is also one of the Grimm stories. A long time ago, many years ago, there were two brothers. The older brother was very rich, but the younger brother was very poor. But the older brother was not a very nice man, and the older brother did not help the younger brother. So the younger brother worked hard, and he worked on the cornfield, but he was not a very good farmer. And when he went to sell the corn, he didn't do a very good job about selling the corn, and so he did not make a lot of money. And so sometimes his family, his wife and children, did not have enough bread to eat, and he was very poor. He had a very scanty living. Scanty living means poor living. But the older brother, who had lots of money, did not care. Well, anyway, one day, the younger brother was pushing his barrow. Barrow is like a wheelbarrow. Barrow is like the little container that you push. It has wheels on the bottom, and you push, and then you carry things. Like when you have big rocks and things like that, when you cannot carry yourself, you put those rocks in a barrel and you push. So one day he was pushing his barrel and through the forest, and he was walking. Then all of a sudden he came to a place where there was a mountain. But this mountain was a very strange mountain. It had no trees and no grass. It was a naked-looking mountain. Naked-looking mountain means, naked means when you don't have any clothes on. It's naked. You're naked. Or it looked like bare-looking. Bare means you don't have anything. When you have a bare shoulder, that means you don't have any clothes, dress on your shoulder. That means when you have like a halter top, then you have a bare shoulder, bare shoulders. Anyway, there was a bare mountain, naked-looking mountain, and he thought that was very strange because there was no trees, no grass. And then soon he saw some people were walking towards the mountain, and so he was looking, and those were robbers. Very wild looking, very bad looking big men were walking towards the mountain. And so this younger brother became a little scared, and so he pushed his barrel into the thicket. He wanted to hide his barrel. Thicket is the area where there are many small trees, and you could hide things under the leaves and things like that. And so he hid his barrel under the thicket, pushed the thicket into the thicket. Pushed the barrel into the thicket, and he climbed up a tree, and he was watching. And then 12 men came, and they were really robbers. They are bad people who rob things from people. And then they came to the mountain, and they strangely said to the mountain, they cried, they shouted to the mountain, they said, Simeli Mountain, open. And then the mountain opened. Opened. And the men went inside, and then the younger brother could hear the robbers are saying, Simeli Mountain, close, shut yourself. And then the mountain closed. And the younger brother was looking at this from the top of the tree, and he thought that was very strange. Sometime later, like maybe 20-30 minutes later, the mountain opened again, and the robbers came out with big bags, with heavy, it seemed like it was heavy, big sack. Sack is a bag. They carried a sack, big sack, on their shoulder, and they left. The younger brother was really curious. He was very interested in what was inside the mountain. So after the robbers went away, they disappeared, he came down from the tree, and he went to the mountain, and he tried to say it, the same thing. He said, Simeli Mountain, open. And then the mountain opened. And so he went inside, and then he turned around and he said, Simeli Mountain, close yourself, shut yourself. And then it closed. And then he looked around and he saw a lot of gold and silver on the ground. And behind the lots of gold and silver on the ground, behind it, there were many precious stones like diamonds and rubies. The jewels were glittering and sparkling, shining. They were there like a, it was like a, lots of coins are stuck up. There were heaps of piles of golden coins and also golden silver, not golden, but the jewels, the sparkling jewels, diamonds and rubies. He couldn't believe this. He said, wow. But he didn't want to take those very expensive, valuable things. He just took some of the gold and silvers and put them into his pocket, and he turned around to the mountain and he said, Simeli Mountain, open. And then it opened, and he went outside and he said, Simeli Mountain, shut yourself. And it closed down. And so he was happy. He went home, and from then on he lived very good. He could buy bread for his family, and he could buy a little house, and he shared the money with the neighbors in the neighborhood, and he gave money to the poor people. He lived very happily and joyously. He ate well, he drank well, and he was very happy. But also at the same time, he lived very uprightly too. Uprightly means kindly, sincerely, generously. So he lived uprightly too. But after a while, the money was gone. And so he thought, maybe I'd like to go back to the mountain again. But this time he thought, maybe I'd like to carry more, take a little more, not just the pocket full, 2 pockets full of gold and silver. So he went to his older brother and he said, brother, can I borrow a measure? Measure is like something that you measure, whatever. He borrowed something to measure corn, you know, how big, how heavy the corn is, and stuff like that. And so it was probably a big measure. But anyway, he borrowed it, and his brother said, why do you need this? And so he said, oh, I need to measure my corn. And so he borrowed it, and he went to the Simeli Mountain, and he got the money, and he lived happily again. And he did this about 3 times. And but at the 3rd time, the brother, this older brother, became a little bit more curious. He thought, why is my brother living so well now? He used to be very poor. Where is the money coming from? And the older brother was very curious. And so this time, what he did was he put some something that sticks, like a glue, on the at the bottom of the measure. And the younger brother went and came back, and he returned this measure back to the brother. When the brother took this measure back, he found a gold coin, 1 gold coin stuck at the bottom of this measuring container. So his brother said, now what is this? And the brother said, uh-oh. Younger brother said, uh-oh. And older brother said, you've been stealing money from somebody. And the younger brother said, oh no, I have not been stealing money from anybody. And then the older brother said, well, if you don't tell me where you're getting this money, I'm going to report you to the police. I'm going to tell the truth to the police. And so the younger brother finally said to his older brother, well, there is this mountain. And when you go there and you say, Simeli Mountain, open, it opens. And there are lots of stuff in there. And then the older brother was a very greedy man. He said, all right, that's a good news. And so he got himself a big carriage. It's like a big truck. He got himself a big truck, and he went to the mountain, and he said, Simeli Mountain, open! And then the door opened, and he went inside with this big truck, a wagon, a carriage. When he came inside the mountain, he was astonished. Wow! Lots of gold and silvers and rubies and emeralds and pearls and diamonds. And so he began to load those things, load the truck with this thing. He put lots of stuff on the truck. And then when he was ready, he turned around to the mountain, inside the mountain, but he forgot. What was the name of the mountain? Was it a Simeli Mountain? Or was it a Simeli Mountain? And so he began to say, Simeli Mountain, open! But it didn't open. And he thought, no, what am I going to do? I forgot the name. He began to say, Simeli Mountain, but it didn't work. But after a while, the door opened, and then 12 robbers came in. And then the 12 robbers, when they found this older brother, they laughed. They said, ah! They said, I knew! You've been here 3 times. He said, I knew you've been here 3 times. I knew you were taking the money from this place. And so the older brother said, oh, no, it wasn't me. It was my younger brother. But the thieves didn't believe it. And this older brother begged and explained. But these wild robbers, they had no mercy. So they just cut his head off. And so that's the end of the story.